My name is Shan Baker. I live in Uxbridge, England with my husband Phil. Well, we started way back in 2000 when I just started making a bit of bread and sold it at a WI, a Women's Institute market. And I thought, this is fun. And so we started to make more and more things. And my neighbours liked our cooking, so we started to sell a bit to neighbours.
This is making sure they're somewhere near both the same size.
One cup? No.
Right, and now the timer.
And from then on we went to do fairs where you go and take a stall and cook for it and make jam. We've always grown loads and loads of fruit. And we had all this fruit, so we didn't want to throw it away, so we made it into jam and we sold it. And we found it sold extremely well, so it's getting bigger and bigger. We made about 3,000 jars of jam last year, and chutneys, which is an awful lot. But mainly from fruit we grow ourselves. And also people give us a lot of fruit, so we can use that. How did the business grow? It just grew. It's word of mouth. People come to the house. Cafes have approached us to make cakes for them.
There you go, you got Stuart. Tell us how you got here, Stuart.
What?
Tell us how you got here.
Oh, by bus. From Slough by bus.
Slough by bus. Yeah. I'll make you some coffee, mate.
Very kind.
Sounds like the title of a crap autobiography.
From Slough by bus. Right, let's try and go at this pie now and see how it comes out. This is my own homemade mincemeat, Stu, and it's a new sort of pastry which is very, very crumbly.
Right.
See?
Oh, right.
Try a bit. There you go, mate.
Okay, thank you very much.
This is the moment of truth then, is it?
Right, remember the truth.
Come and sit down in here, mate. Join Stuart.
Yes.
It's Thursday today, isn't it? Where's Peter the Hare?
I'll take the thing out of the... Sorry, I'll take my...
Oh, your hat's in there, is it?
It's there somewhere.
No, it's here, I've got it.
We make a lot of cakes. We do at least 40 packets of biscuits for a cafe every week. And we make bread, at least once a week we make bread. We have a list of people who come and buy bread from us. We ring round the night before and they order it. We make meat pies. We've got some very good turkey pies on at the moment. We do a lot of scones, flans, tarts, soup, all these things. So we put some stuff in the freezer. Because people know that we make food, they'll often just come to the door and ask what we've got in the freezer and if we've got something for dinner. It's just 3. There's 2. 4, 5, 6, 7. £9, please, Stuart.
£9?
Please.
Smile as you leave.
Right, I'll give you a ring as usual then.
Okay, lovely.
Thank you very much, everybody.
See you next week.
Okay.
Bye, Stuart.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Stuart. See you next week.
Advertise on TV.
That's right. As I've been
Okay, thanks so much.
Well, we've got to respect nature. We've got to keep an eye on what we're doing. We can't just roughshod. Humans at the moment, or have always, just used animals and used nature for their own ends without being very respectful of it. I expect they go through the tunnel if we ask them.
You're going to go through your tunnel? Go through your tunnel, shall we do that? Go on. Do a bit of flying about. No, they're not going to. I think that should change. I think it is changing, actually. I think we're a lot more respectful than we used to be. I mean, we haven't got a king now that goes out and shoots 500 pheasants for an afternoon sport. I don't think that's happening now. I think people are a lot more thoughtful about nature. And I certainly am. I think we try to be, we try not to use too much fuel, we try not to use too much water. We also keep our birds and our animals in good condition. Oh, he's a really nice man. We've been married for 53 years now, and we really like each other. We still make each other laugh, which is important.
Well, I thought we all should be in.
He can mend anything, he can plumb, he can build. He's rebuilt nearly all this house by himself. I think we had some magic pictures of Phil in a tiny pair of swimming trunks taking down the ceilings in the bedrooms in the heat wave, and he was absolutely covered in black soot and sweat. It was very interesting.
Okay.
I'll go get them. Alex?
Very soft.
They're magnificent pots.
I'm Phil Baker, and I'm a retired Air Force officer, and we've lived in this house for over 30 years. We're supposed to be retired, but in fact we spend most of our time making jams and cooking and generally entertaining ourselves, and it's a good life despite being fairly old, and we have a good time. We live here in a road of old Victorian houses, and I think that people who live in these sort of houses tend to be people like us. They're people who are friendly. We've got young families in the road, but there's quite a lot of us now who are either retired or coming up to retired, and I think it's self-selecting. People who want to live in a road like this mean that they're going to be people who are a bit like us, and I think that that makes the relationship of the road. There are different people, there are single people as well, but we know everybody even if we don't know their names, and this is just a very friendly neighbourhood.
We used to invite all the neighbours in for dinner on a Sunday night, and they had to come at 6 and they had to leave at 9:30, and the meal mustn't cost more than about £20, and that used to be hugely good fun. So we get a lot of people in and we'd all sit around and drink a lot, but this was just local, just neighbours, and we do a lot with our neighbours. Our neighbours next door run parties on a regular basis and we help cater for them, but this is just a sort of area where it's just a friendly area where people all know each other. These are pictures of the road that we've decorated for one, I think, the royal wedding or something like that. And there's Phil cooking, and this would have been a long time ago. This would have been in the mid-90s, I think. These are my grandchildren. You see my grandchildren? This is the latest one here, Sulis. She's lovely. She's now a year, just a year. There's a picture of them all. And there's Idris. He's half Senegalese. So they're a bit of a mixture. My son has had 3 wives. So they've got children that are very different colours. So they're very interesting. And this is my very splendid painting, which is done by a local artist called Laura Skinner, and it represents the Sahara bleeding into the jungle.
When I was in the Air Force in Lincolnshire many years ago, there were a lot of abandoned railway lines, and we used to cycle around, and we came across these signs. They'd been taken down and thrown in ditches. No one seemed to want them, so we rescued them and had them cleaned up and painted, because they're quite decorative. They're not worth very much, but they fit nicely in that corner, and they're very attractive.
That one's okay, that's good, isn't it? Definitely not all financial. We love people to come and say, I really like that cake. I think we're very much in for positive reinforcement. So if someone gives us a lot of praise, we think that's lovely. So perhaps that's the main reason for our little business, is to make things that people really enjoy eating. Oh, the money's very nice as well. We certainly don't do it for nothing. But we do cook for quite a lot of elderly men who don't get any home-cooked food. So perhaps we're doing them a favour as well, even though we're charging them some money.
Yeah.
Because it was nice and dry, wasn't it? Have a good time. Enjoy your life. Do it. Live for today. Don't think about tomorrow. Just get on with it and have a good time.